Well, welcome back, everybody. I told you we were going to spend some time talking about email security. I've got my partner in crime over here, Mike Myers.
Richard, how's it going, man?
Good. Staying busy. How about you?
I'm pretty busy. I got to tell you, this is one episode I've been really wanting to understand. And if it's okay with you, I want to take this kind of from a Soho, one mail server kind of setup, which I've done. I'm not going to tell you the first time I set up an email server. And I want to kind of look at it from my side. And if we can take that and use that as a jumping point to talk about how SOCs deal with enterprise level email security would be huge. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much to talk about with email, to be perfectly honest. And sometimes just understanding how it all works actually makes things a lot clearer, especially those that maybe haven't had any interaction with enterprise grade security when it comes to email.
All right. So what I did to help me understand is I've actually set up a very simple email server.
In your free time, just because it was fun, right?
It is fun. So it is.
That's why we're two bald nerds, guys.
Absolutely.
Because we set up mail exchange servers when we're bored.
See, now it's not an exchange server. I'm actually using a product called Oxygen.
Okay.
Well, it's free. It's a free email server, and it's actually quite robust. And what I want to do is let me show this to you real quick, and then let's talk about how I deal with security in a Soho environment. So, I mean, even taking it lower before I show you this, when I think about email security as an individual, I'm usually talking about I'm going to have some type of anti-malware tool. Not all of them, but most of them include email security of some type or another. But I don't know what they're doing. I just turn them on and they go. I'm trusting other people to do other things. But I want to take it a step up from there. And let me show you my screen. And
well, just so you know, you're not alone there. I don't think when most people set up an email, I don't think they consider or even think about email security. They just think it's done somewhere else. Somebody with great power and great capabilities is doing it for them. So
absolutely,
I don't think most people really think about it at home.
No, but again, we're teaching people bigger and better things here. So, so what I got here, this is Oxygen. It's good. It's actually fairly robust for a free product. So I can set up domains. Hang on, let me log in on this real quick. So like I've made a domain. Where'd it go? Where's my domain? There it is. So I made a domain called test.local. I don't know how well that's going to show up on screen. People laugh at me. They go, I thought you'd set up a mail like richardchapmanisAmazing.com. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm just doing this as a test. So using .local is kind of it is a truly fully qualified domain naming system, but this is for something private that would never go out on the internet. So don't try to send me an email at mike@test.local. It won't get to me because I'm not actually on the internet. But what's interesting is I get down here on security and filtering. Again, I'm worried this might be a little small, but like antivirus and anti-spam. So we'll have different tools. And I think this is where they make their money, actually. So this is a free email server, but then you have to license all these different types of tools that allow you to do email protection of different types. And as you can see, that goes beyond just antivirus, but also spam filters and stuff like that too. So you can see
they're basically like plugins and integrations. So those other vendors that you can license they're more or less just allowing you to utilize their service as an integration to the Oxygen application. So it gives them more features.
Yeah. So for me, it's really just a matter of turning it on or turning it off. I don't really have a easy solution. I know if I was using Exchange server and stuff like this, there's a lot more power to it. But so this is what I know. So let me turn this off and let me ask you a question. Okay, Richard, what tools do you guys use for email security in a SOC? What do you teach at CyberNow Labs?
Well, first off, whenever the email actually gets to its environment, there is a mail exchange there. And if it has built-in features like you were just dealing with there, those are still actually being employed. They're still being utilized. but that is not enough. It really is just, it's not robust enough. It's not fast enough. It's not really enough, right? So what ends up happening is we end up with an intermediary, almost like a man in the middle kind of situation, where Proofpoint is sitting out in the cloud somewhere, and our emails are going to that cloud location to an application Proofpoint. And it's analyzing all of those emails and so forth before it actually gets to the mail exchange and then gets distributed to the different users' inboxes, or not, based on, the activities. So
I'm speculating in all probability that you probably have an MX record in your DNS that points to Proofpoint, and
Correct.
then Proofpoint does whatever voodoo it do, and then sends it back to my email server.
Exactly right. Yeah. And again, that's why I say it's kind of like a man in the middle, because it's intercepting the mail before it actually makes it to our mail exchange, so that it can eliminate or block those malicious emails before they ever even make it to our environment.
But it's interesting. You said that if I have any antivirus, anti-malware, anti-email tools, that Proofpoint, am I saying it right? So Proofpoint can work with those.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they really are kind of working separately, though. Keep that in mind.
Two separate filters in the pipe.
Yeah, it's almost like it's defense and layer. It's an intelligent thing to make sure you've got layers of defense, not just one, right? So if one fails or misses something, then the second one's going to capture it. So, I mean, Proofpoint is kind of like the first line of defense, and it's pretty dang effective, I got to say. So that means that you're relying on those other tools maybe a little bit less. Those integrations that you had there in that mail, in that application, you don't have to rely on those as much. And Proofpoint, all they do is focus on these emails and focus on being able to block malicious traffic, block emails with bad malware attached, or links that actually take you to bad places. So believe it or not, even Proofpoint has additional features that it can do beyond just that. Like, for instance, we have a service applied to ours called Proofpoint Trap. And that actually allows it to even recursively do some removal after the fact of emails from the email boxes as well too. So it can actually connect with the email exchange and almost purge emails from users' inboxes also. So they're pretty powerful. There's a lot of things that they can do, but at the end of the day, it's all about security. It's all about keeping those bad people out of our environment as much as we can, because as much as we hate to say it, carbon units are generally the biggest vulnerability in most security environments, sadly. Yeah, it happens. So,
we used to call it PEBCAC. Did you ever hear that term?
I've heard it feel like EBCAP, error between user and keyboard, something like
that. Yeah, that's it, PEBCAP. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. There
you go.
Well, that's fascinating.
What about ID10T error?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. Yeah, ID10T.
Sorry.
You got to make them write it down. Yeah, I think that came out in World War II. So I assume that Proofpoint has competitors.
Yeah, of course.
Could you name a couple of, do you know any others off the top of your head?
Yeah, FireEye EX is one that I'm familiar with, used in my MSSP. Microsoft actually, as part of their Defender suite, they actually have an email client as well too. There are other ones out there. Off the top of my head, I'm forgetting some of the other ones, but there are absolutely competitors to Proofpoint. They're not the only one. Okay,
but Proofpoint is, if you're going to talk about enterprise email security, you're going to be saying Proofpoint.
Proofpoint's kind of the top of the line. I mean, they're definitely, more costly, but they're also, I've seen claims of like 97, 98% effective. And that's a pretty strong claim, but I got to be honest, I think they do a really good job with the experience I've had.
Richard, I got to ask you a question. Obviously, we need to do an episode on Proofpoint. I mean, that's clear. But do you have a Proofpoint handy right now we could take a quick peek at?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds here. Let me move my screen around here.
I just want to give everybody a teaser for our next episode. I'm assuming it has a dashboard or something like that.
Yeah, of course. Let me go ahead and
share. Yeah, folks, you can tell that me and Richard carefully script all this because I'm throwing this at him out of nowhere.
Luckily, I'm at the office. I'm connected to the SOC, and it's usually pretty quick and easy to open up the my SOC dashboard, which, the SOC dashboard is where our analysts actually investigate alerts and so forth. So, so here's a dashboard here. And just to kind of get a quick brief overview, these are alerts that have been created by Proofpoint after looking at an email that came in and either identifying potentially a malicious hash that's attached to that email, or a link like this one here, where you've got a potentially malicious link. And it even tells you that it's a credential phishing. Now, we may even real quick, just to kind of get maybe we can get a quick look here. This is Proofpoint's internal sandbox. And look at that. So this was a Yahoo credential harvesting. So it's meant to look like Yahoo, but does that look like a Yahoo address to you at all?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. Now, to a normal user, they go, oh, it's just Yahoo. Let me go ahead and type in my credentials and hit enter. And now you've just sent your credentials to a malicious.
Gotcha.
Entry. So,
all right, Richard, don't give any more away. We're gonna have we'll have an entire episode on this so that folks can check that out. Man, I got to tell you, this was helpful. I thank you for introducing me to terms. I actually had heard of Proofpoint, but for me, I have to understand a little bit of what you call the engineering. For me, I need at least a little bit of understanding how the plumbing works. But the big thing in a SOC is you've got this thing up and you're dealing with these individual flags, incidents,
alerts, notables, offenses. Right. It depends on the tool. Everybody likes to call it something different. CrowdStrike calls it a detection. Splunk Enterprise Security, they call it notables. QRadar calls it offenses. Yeah, everybody has their own name, but it's all the same thing. It's an alert. It's a notification of a security event or a possible security event.
Fantastic. Well, we almost have to have enterprise email security part 2. So folks, do us a favor. Be sure to watch our upcoming follow-up episode. It will be on the YouTube channel for CyberNow Labs, and we'll put it out all kinds of other places as well. And we're going to be diving deep into actually looking at what these tools do, looking at some real examples like we teased you a little bit today, but you're definitely going to want to check this out. And it's going to be a marvelous starting. I think I'm going to steal that. I'm going to be Fernando Lamas for here on in.
Nice, love it. Well, anything else? Any other questions? I think we wrap it up for the day.
I'm ready to. Let's go ahead and let's get that next thing shot, because I'm going to be learning here. So I like to learn, man. Cool, folks. Thank you so much, man. We'll see you on the next episode. This is Two Bald Nerds. I'm Mike Myers.
I'm Richard Chapman.
If you like Two Bald Nerds, check out our entire playlist right here. It's a lot of fun. We'll see you there.